How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and welcome to episode 2 of trying to bring Swindon Town FC to the top of the Premier League. I cannot believe the response to episode 1 of this series. I was just giving this game a shot because I've been enjoying it in my free time, and it seems that a lot of you out there are interested in seeing a series like this. So here we are in episode 2. We are here at the beginning of the January transfer window. We have quite a few prospects out on loan, and we are also trying to make our squad a little bit better. However, our budget is extremely tight. We have a whole $814,000 to our name here. So I think our goal mostly in this transfer window, as it was in the beginning episode, was to transfer away as much of the older talent as possible and maybe look to take on a couple players on loan to make our team better in the short term. So we are going to get started here, start simming towards our next event, and I will see you. Actually, it's today. We have a match here against Gillingham, and we're going to hop right into it here. Okay, so a lot of our lineup was tired, so we had to let them sit for a game. And even still, we have a lot of players who are pretty worn out here in this game against Gillingham. Let's see how we fare today, though, and we will come out with a draw. So a draw is better than nothing, right? It's a point towards the table. But our goal, right, is to continue to move up the table. Now, I think we are fully aware that $814,000 is not really much of anything as far as budget to go make ourselves better. However, we learned last episode and just overall in our experience, right, that scouting some of these free agent players that we see in these scouting reports can actually be extremely beneficial. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and update all of our scouting, and I'll be right back. There's no way that this guy's name is Noah Ohio, right? Is there really an actual player named Noah Ohio? How crazy though. That guy's last name is Ohio. Is that how you pronounce it? Is there some interesting pronunciation here? Hold on. No, it's Noah Ohio. However, he does have a much longer full name. It's, I think here, Noah Chidibere Jr. Onyanwu, Ohio. So I guess they're doing us a favor by just calling him Noah Ohio here. But anyway, long story short, we won't be even scouting him here because he's under 85 potential. But that just caught me so off guard, I had to make a comment about it. So one thing I think we are going to do here right away is we are going to make a move here for Talal Al-Awazim. He's a free agent right now. He's not going to develop much more than what he is right now. However, a 71 overall striker is much better than what we've got going on in that department right now. If we're going to have some sort of attack going, right, we're going to need to have somebody who can be up there and be effective. And I think a 71 overall here in the EFL League 2 will do just fine for now. And if we need to move him later, we can move him later. And that's the glorious thing about a free agent here. He's worth $3 million, but we're only going to have to pay whatever it takes to get his contract done here. So we're going to approach him and try to get an offer done. He wants to be crucial. I think we can agree that he will probably be pretty crucial. He only wants a 1-year deal. You know, we have said that he's not going to develop much more. And we're hoping here in a year or two, we're going to have more budget to use to make ourselves better. So I think we're okay giving him a 2-year deal, and he's okay taking that. We're not going to offer a release clause. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove that bonus because fuck you. You're a free agent. You don't get to demand a fucking bonus. Besides the signing bonus that I already don't really want to have to pay you, you're just going to be lucky you're going to make $7,500 a week. I would love to make $7,500 a week, as he is going to accept that offer. You fucking better, pal, as he is going to join Swindon Town FC, bring the heat for us, hopefully, on the attacking side. All right, and as you can see, we have a for the deal we made there. Of course, there's nothing better than a free transfer, and a free transfer that is an upgrade at the position. So I'm going to slot him in at our starting striker spot, and then I think we can really maybe think about moving Drin in here because we have someone younger and more talented, arguably, at the position. So here we see Aaron Drinnen here. We're going to add him to the transfer list, and hopefully we can get a decent offer for, I mean, he's still a young and fairly talented player. You're mad that you are dog shit and not getting games. What do you want me to do, buddy? I can't just make you better. Show me I need to play you. How about that, pal? Why don't you show me you need to be on the pitch? Because right now you look like you should never be on the pitch. I mean, how old are you? And talking about you should be getting more games. Hold on. You're 24 and only a 61 overall. I mean, apparently you still have room to grow, but a better turd or a shinier turd is still a turd. So, yeah, I think you're still going to be in my reserves there, pal. You're the same overall as Ollie Palmer, who's 9 years older than you. Can we be so honest with ourselves, man? But while we are in here looking at our players, we're going to consider adding as many of these old and non-progressing players, right? Like we see here 3 guys at their max potential. We see Will Wright's at his max potential. Lewis Ward. I mean, Aaron Drinnen's also reached his max potential too. We're just going to keep adding all of these guys to the transfer list. I understand we're kind of demolishing our squad, right? But we want to get better. We don't want to sit here with 4 to 8 guys, I think that was, right? That was like 8 players of ours who are essentially not getting any better. That's 8? Yeah, that's 8. 8 players on our roster that are never going to get any better than they are right now. What do you want me to do with that? We get rid of it and we find better players. This is, I mean, the value for the guys might not be much. We'll take anything for them. And we do have a youth tournament that we can play before our next match here. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out, and then I will see you at a match against Harrogate Town. Well, actually, I lied. You remember how we kind of demolished our youth squad because they were really bad? We don't have enough players. I mean, we have 3 goalkeepers, which is fine and dandy because, I mean, all 3, I mean, Vladislav Ponomarenko might not end up being much of anything long-term, but these 2 guys might. And they're homegrown England talent. I did have a comment on the last video, which, of course, as I will always continue to say, leave a comment down below and give me your suggestions if you are more of an expert at this game than me, because I'm still learning on the fly here as we're trying to do this, and your suggestions are always appreciated. I had someone leave me a comment asking me to, or telling me to scout some Iranian players. Now, I don't know if that is like Iranian pro or like going and scouting the Iranian Pro League, or if it's youth talent. But once we do have the opportunity to move our youth scouts, oh my god, move our youth scouts around, I will be sending a scout over to Iran, because I am interested to see, because like I said, I feel like you can find talent just about anywhere in this game, which is one of the awesome things about it. It's not just, oh, here's the meta, but obviously there's more talent in those areas. We're going to find out if there's any talent in Iran. I'm really interested to see here, but right now we can't participate in the youth tournament until our next youth report at least. So we're going to hold off on that, and I will see you at Harrogate Town. Okay, a match against Harrogate Town here today. I honestly can say that our lineup is starting to look pretty solid. Talal Al-Wazim in the front. We've got Azarius Londonio on the right mid. And then we have Al-Sar Han down there at left back, who has plenty of potential to grow and has gotten better even since getting here. We'll see how this new lineup with a new striker performs, as once again, we're going to put up 2 goals, and Al-Wazim put up 2 goals in his debut. So, okay, electric start there from our new signing. We'll absolutely take that here. No offers yet, but we do have some new youth scouting reports here. So maybe we'll actually be able to participate in a youth tournament here soon. Okay, so Hugo Duke, I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name. Some of these names are really a genuine language learning exercise, I will tell you. As I think he's not awful. I think we can bring him in on just get him on the team for now. And now that we have our scouts recalled, like I said, we are going to go ahead and see if there is anything in Iran like I was suggested to go find. All right, so we are sending a scout there to Iran, and I think we're gonna do a full search for that middle of the field kind of prospect that we were told to go find. And then with our other scout here, I think we're gonna go ahead and send somebody to Germany this time for a few months. And what we're looking for maybe more specifically is probably somebody in this area upon the front line. We're just looking to get some more offense on our team because I think our defending line right now is not that bad. So on to the next game against Burton Albion for the Virtu Trophy. All right, so we are making a deal here for one of our center midders. I think that's Will Wright that we are transferring out here. That is, oh, it's one of our center back, and we will be sending him out here for 700K. And like I've said, we are going to just bring in talent to replace him, right? That's the goal. So I will be right back. Okay, matchup for the Virtu Trophy here today against Burton Albion. And one of the things I think we are realizing here in real time as we get our asses whooped by Burton Albion is it's really, really tough to keep our squad fresh here. Even in the EFL too, we've got like a couple of days between matches here. We've really got to rotate our roster. So having some quality bench players is also going to be very important for us. All right, so we are moving off of, was it Alan Drennan, right? Aaron Drennan. We're moving off of Aaron Drennan here for 1.5 million. And like I said, we have Talal Al-Azim here, right? So we filled that need, and we can take the 1.5 mil in that contract. I mean, Azarius Londonio's unhappy with the amount of games he's being given, and then he wants a break. I don't know what he wants. He is a super temperamental player. What a diva. As we are going to move on to our next match here against Cardiff City. All right, and we are also selling another player here and bringing in 1.6 million with Gavin Kilkenny leaving us, and we will continue to look for these offers. I think we can really fill the roles here with some of our youth guys, continuing to bring in more money to maybe bring in some cheap transfers as well. All right, so we are looking here in our transfer lists, or our scouting network actually, and we're looking here at our free agent scout, right? The guy we're kind of using to scout some extra guys who are free agents. And look at the 3 prospects that he's just scouted here. Now, Royston Shoop might not ever turn into a star. Probably won't be anything more than he is now. But he's a 67 overall, which I think is valuable for where we are right now. And then Haytham Al-Karawi. Geez, man. I'm so sorry if you're watching this and you're watching me butcher these names. I'm really trying. I think he could really become a staple and if not a valuable piece for us. So I think all 3 of these guys, including Moises Ramirez here, just at least in the short term could really just come in and start right away. And then the other guy that got sent to him to scout was Martial Tia, and I also think he might be worth sending an offer to here once we have some more money in our budget. We are going to go ahead and make some negotiations with these 3 players here and see if we can't get ourselves to be even better. All right, so our initial offer to Moises Ramirez here is going to be $4,000 a week in 50K. And we have ourselves a quality keeper coming into the building. He will serve us very well for the short term, if nothing else, until we can find a young superstar keeper in our youth program or elsewhere. As of course, we get an A for that negotiation, and I will see you in the next one. We're just going to call him Haytham. Haytham's in the building, all right, and he wants to be crucial. I think we can agree that he would be, and he wants a 4-year deal. I'm happy with that as well. We're going to be good on a release clause. Okay, no bonus. Bonuses just sink our budget, and I mean, we'll offer you $4,000 a week, just like we did to Moises Ramirez, and we'll even bump your bonus up to 50K. I'm happy to do that for all of these free agent guys here, and he will sign Neckbeard Central with him just a little bit, but we are richer at all of these positions that we're bringing in guys. So Haytham Al-Karawi. It might be Karawi. It probably is that, Karawi, as he is joining Swindon Town FC, and he becomes just a perfect fit right into the squad. Probably will be starting a good bit for our team. And then the other player we're going to go after here is Royston Shoop. All right, so the deal for Royston Shoop here is going to be $4,400 a week with a $45,000 signing bonus. And once again, we continue to add more depth to our team here. 3 really great free agent signings. I know Royston Shoop is probably the least impressive of them all, but once again, he's already way better than anything else we've got on our team. And even if he doesn't develop into anything else, he will still be a valuable depth piece for us. Remy Himbert, by the way, was a huge piece of my last team, and he develops really well. So I would definitely love to take an offer at him if we ever get the chance. So I'm going to adjust our squad here with these new signings, and then we will be on to our next match against Cardiff City. All right, match day here in the FA Cup, and look at how strong this roster is beginning to look. I know we've got a little bit of a gap there at right back right now, but we will eventually address that, and we will get our asses spanked by Cardiff City. Well, forget I said anything, honestly. The team's bad, I guess. We just need some more time, I think. As long as we can continue to build up the talent, I think the results will come. We just have to not get fired, I think. All right, next match here up against Salford City. Team is looking a little bit more refreshed after being able to kind of catch our breath with a week off in between matches here. So let's get into the sim here and see how we do. We do manage to win today with a score of 1-0. Scanlon coming through with a goal for us. We'll be sad to see all of our players on loan go. A win is a win here, oh boy, it looks like our job security has been downgraded, and it keeps telling us to look at the jobs market. Maybe I should be worried about that. Okay, so it would appear that the unexpected event engine, right, one of the things that you can have on in this game, has activated here, giving us a budget malfunction. So our transfer budget just went from about 3 million to 1.5 million until we figure out what's going on with that. That's awesome. But anyway, we're going to keep on doing what we need to do to make our team better, and I will see you soon. All right, next match here against Bromley FC. Can we continue to build on the momentum as we will walk away with a slim 3-2 victory? Talal Al-Wazim continues to be a huge benefit for us, as does Azarius Londonio here, contributing huge to our success so far this season. And we'll move on to our next match here, but we continue to make positive strides with our squad. All right, so we will be moving off of Paul Glatzel here for 540,000. Just another player that we are not looking too great for, as we're once again downgraded our job security. What are we talking about? As Talal Al-Wazim has indeed reached his peak, which we knew that he probably wasn't going to get much better than what he was, so that's fine for now. But what are we talking about? We're winning football games right now. Football being soccer, if you're an American watching this. I mean, I can't deal with the players complaining the way they are. Holy cow, I'm in a locker room of divas. You know, sometimes I feel like bad things just happen on purpose just to make me upset. And this is one of those cases because our players are exhausted here before our match against Notts County. We would love nothing more than to come out here and beat them, as they are top of the table, or just about top of the table, but I have no doubt we're going to struggle today, as yes, we will lose by a goal. However, I feel like all things considered, we are staying competitive in these matches, but unfortunately losses continue to make management unhappy. Oh my goodness, people. Yeah, I'm trying to sell you, but you're not very valuable at your aid. It's the most frustrating thing when I've got these old players complaining about not playing when they should realize I don't want them on the team anymore. Okay, so along with it being match day here, it is also deadline day. And two players that I really want to be able to maybe take an offer at here, Martial Tia and Lucas Reich. And I think Lucas Reich is the more important person for us to go out and try to... Okay, well, I guess we can't go out and get Lucas Reich because they are not willing to move off of him. Okay, well, right back is a huge priority for us because we are missing a player at that spot. So I'm gonna have to find somebody to fit in there. So I will be right back once we have a plan. Okay, so we are in a negotiation here with Borussia Dortmund here. We are negotiating for maybe a loan to buy situation. Okay, so they are happy to do a loan to buy. We're gonna do a 1-year loan. Fine, a short term is whatever. Let's do 80-20 split. Okay, how about a 70-30 split? Fine, we'll split it 50-50. And then if we like him, how about a 1.75 million transfer fee? Okay, so a 2.4 with a 1% sell-on clause. Okay, Okay, I can work with this. Maybe we do, and then I will give you 3% on the sell-on clause. Okay. You know what? I think that's doable. We will take that deal. I think we get a very young and developable prospect here in Almugera Kabar. If we look at the scouting report for him, we can see that he's got 77 to 83 potential. So he's got quite a lot of room to grow. He does play left back, but we've seen that we can play left backs and left midders at right. We've seen that we can swap them pretty comfortably. So I think that's a fantastic deal here, and we will be happy to get him in the building. Unfortunately, he won't be available for this match here, and that's going to be a problem, as we're going to definitely have a deficit at right back, and we will still manage to come away with a win here against Barrow. Continuing to build positive momentum, I think, here in the EFL League, despite we're still going down in performance despite winning matches. I don't really know what's happening. All right, so another deadline day will pass. We haven't really done much at deadline days recently, as we are going to move on to the end of this league season. We are currently sitting 8th on the league table, which apparently is enough to get us fired. But we are going to continue to do our best to bring our results up, as our next match is in 6 days. All right, so it is match day here against Oldham Athletic, and we are actually going to check in our youth scouts. So we are going to check in on our Iran scout first, and already it looks like we do have some talent to find here in Iran, as Aman Rezian here looks like he might have some decent potential. I think right now our goal is to bring in any young player over 85 max potential and try to develop them here, as it looks like Lucas Schwab here is going to be our best player from Germany, and we will see our scouts next month. But while we're here, we'll go ahead and check in on our youth squad themselves. Is there anybody that's looking incredibly talented or in need of leaving the squad? It looks like Kwame Agyemang is currently the lowest overall potential, but he's still over 80, which is good enough for us right now. And then Aman Rezian, I guess. I don't know how you say that last name. Forgive me once again for not being a super great linguist here. However, I think we could really bring him onto the squad and send him out on loan right now, and that would probably be more beneficial than having him here on the squad with his overall right now. And I think that's actually what we are going to do. We're going to go ahead and promote him to the senior squad. We're going to let him have some time in the bench, because we do have spots for him to come off the bench and maybe get some minutes, and then we'll let him go out on loan and potentially develop, and then he comes back and he's a great center midder for us. So Aman Rezian will go on to the transfer, or not the transfer list. Oh my goodness, no, not the transfer list. Don't want to do that. We're going to put him on the loan list, and hopefully we get a decent enough offer for him and he develops into something favorable for us. As we walk in here to our next match, and I actually think I need to update the roster, because some of our players that were getting a rest last match are ready to return. Squad adjusted and ready to go here for our match against Oldham. How are we faring today? We are walking away with a draw. Not necessarily the best result, right? With our backs against the wall with our success rate as far as how our management is viewing us, despite however well we are performing. Okay, another match here as we are up against Shrewsbury, continuing to try to push ourselves up the table, maybe show management we deserve another chance, as we will lose here against Shrewsbury. Oh boy, this is not looking good for our job security. If we cannot continue to find better results, it is it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Okay, only 2 games or 2 days have passed. Not 2 games. Only 2 days have passed between matches here, as we do manage to walk away with a win finally. So maybe we can take a little bit of a breath out on our job security, as we will move on to next match against Crew Alexandria in 3 days. Okay, here is the squad for our match against Crew Alexandria. Can we start stacking some wins here? Stacking some positive results? Well, we get a tie. Once again, a tie is better than a loss. It's still a point towards the table. So we will absolutely take that, as we will move on to our next match in 6 days against Bristol Rovers. Okay, we have reached our next matchup against Bristol Rovers. Let's keep stacking positive results. I mean, we are just the tie team, right? We can't apparently lose or win. If you can't die, but you can still feel all the pain of everything. There's a really good Rick and Morty scene about how not being able to die is not a good thing per se, and tying every match is also not a good thing per se. But we continue to move up the table, and it just continues to make management poor and pissed off. I don't know what the problem is. So it's been decided that the club will not carry over our transfer budget next year. So we have $3 million that we somehow have to spend before next year. Well, I can't transfer any players in at this point, right? When does the summer transfer window open? Okay, so theoretically we could make some transfers because I think the window opens mid-June. So we will have to consider spending some of the budget we've got in our pocket here. We do have a youth tournament to play before our next match, and I will see you at Crawley Town. Okay, so we've reached match day here, and before we hop in, we do have some updated scouting reports, and it's not looking like there's too much going on in the Iran region this go-around. However, we still have another month to find some more talent there, as here in Germany, it looks like we do have another player worth adding in Lenny Paul. He's a left winger, but we can use left wings at left mid, so definitely worthwhile adding him. And we'll take a look at the youth squad. How are we looking on this update? Couple of players here who are in that 80 overall cap, and in fact, it looks like that's kind of where they're going to be. Is Kwa Otto and Kwame Agyemang are both going to cap out at about an 80 overall, and Vladislav Ponomarenko is not far behind, and Mateo Barrios is also not going to be all that talented. All three of these guys can probably still find a spot on our roster here. Now, the only player that is able to be brought up to the senior squad right now is Billy Pearson, and he's definitely a quality looking player. He might be worth sending up to it might be worth sending him up to the senior squad. However, I think we're going to keep him down in the youth squad for now. Leave our senior squad open to bring in some talent, because obviously that's what we're going to be forced to do with our budget not transferring over next year. Okay, big match against Crawley Town. We managed to win another tournament with our youth squad. We're really starting to make some progress there and cannot come out on top today. So we're going to need to continue to fight for results here, as we are going to have another tough matchup against MK Dons in 6 days. Okay, so we are in a match against MK Dons today. They are second in the table right now. It'd be nice to get a win here in this match, and we are going to fall short 1-0. I mean, the frustrating part is I feel like our squad is really not that bad. We've made such great improvements, I feel like, and it's just not making a difference here right now. Okay, so we are making a deal here, right? We know that our budget isn't crossing over into next season, so we're going to actually go ahead and pull the trigger on a deal for Martial Tia here. If you remember earlier, we had looked at him and said that he had the potential to really develop into something positive for us here. And I know that we also still have that loan to buy option. So the question becomes if can we make up that money somewhere? And I think we can. So I'm going to try to move things around here and make things work. And we're going to see if we can't get ourselves a quality right back and center attacking midfielder in the next transfer window. All right, and so we are able to agree to terms with Martial Tia here, and he will be joining us when the next transfer window opens. And I think that is a great deal for us, as it looks like we got the best possible deal out of that. And we will be seeing him join us here very soon. Now, like I said, the other deal that we have to keep in mind here is we want to be able to bring in the right back that we had brought in on loan to buy. The question becomes is how do we make that money up? Well, we try to look at what we've got on our squad and who we can maybe sell here to bring in some value to the team. Okay, so this is our squad rolling in here to our next matchup against Gillingham. Once again, we're still trying to manage the fatigue on our squad as we pull away with a win today. Good news, and we have some talent coming in as well. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be really possible for us to get enough money to bring or keep our loaned player in and buy him, unfortunately, with that deal. Once again, unfortunately, we just have to do what we have to do, right? We can't keep the money, and we'll just have to adjust on the fly here. Okay, matchup against Tranmere Rovers today. Once again, this matchup is occurring really quickly after our last one, so still trying to keep our guys as fresh as possible, as we will pull away with a draw today. I mean, it'd be nice if we could start turning some of these draws into wins. It would really mean a lot as far as our performance in the league table. I mean, what is the difference going to have to be for us? Okay, wow. We were fired. Wow. I mean, we were doing everything we could, and because we didn't win the league title, we are getting fired. Unbelievable. Truly unreal. Okay, well, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the episode, right? Because we could go to one of these other small programs. We could go to Notts County, which is in the same... Notts County is in the same league and is higher up on the table. I think, unfortunately, we're just going to have to hit the reset button on the series and try again. Unfortunately, Swindon Town FC, we just couldn't find the results, and at the end of the day, we just get sacked. That's really frustrating, and I'm not exactly sure what else I could have done in order to prevent myself from getting fired. Maybe we play more of the games, but that takes so long to do. I just need to rely on my players being able to get the results, and that just didn't happen. This might end up being a short episode because of this result. That's just how it goes in this game. But I will say we will be back. I will be trying again. And I really hope that you enjoyed watching me get fired despite my best efforts to make our team better here. And I think we end up leaving the team better than we left it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. I'm really trying to stay positive about this, but I'm really annoyed. That is it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like, comment down below what you think I could have done differently and what I should do differently before I begin my next attempt to bring a team to the top here. It will not be Swindon Town FC. Fuck them. Fuck the board in this game anyway. And I will hope to catch you in our next attempt here very soon. Take care.